Artgate, or
Oh,
whatever you want to
God.
call it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Over-
man.
As if it wasn't having enough problems.
Yeah, over at
Dude.
old
Ugh.
Bungie. So about 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, there was an artist that took to social media by the name of Anti-Real, which made some accusations and claims that turned out to be very true and very real, that there was just blatant plagiarism throughout the entire marathon experience when it comes to the art. So much so that you can go and look at the different art pieces in the marathon alpha where they like diminished the text on the art itself. This
one of the
particularly.
most egregious ones is you can see Anti-Real Daily Series on the right. That is the named series that the original artist made. What they did is on the left, that's the Bungie one. They literally just like tried to erase it. They did a poor job. You can actually still kind of read it right there. That is literally the artist's made up thing.
It's like war torn, I guess is how you could.
There's another big one. There's this strip of very unique and cool looking symbols.
Yes, I'll show
that
that
Marathon has put everywhere in the game, and the entire forum and Reddit for months was like, what do these mean? Are these the factions? Like they were doing these like ARG things and all this stuff with it. Bungie literally ripped the entire, every single symbol, the whole line graphic from that artist. All of, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the big thing here is that when this story came out, it was thought, it still says Doom, by the way. I want to fix that.
Disgusting Doom, the dark. I'm sorry, Bethesda.
That's a lawsuit.
Apologies.
Don't about that sponsored stream you're doing soon. So the big thing here, the part that is so distressing about this is that Marathon has been out publicly being pushed as this super artistic, stylized, Bungie fingerprinted project. That's what Marathon is, this super unique art style. They had a whole little movie made of it, but like this is so unique. And when the art started getting leaked, when this artist came out and people started noticing that it was happening, at first everyone was like, oh, we've been through this before. Bungie has had problems with this. They'll make sure the artist is compensated. They'll give him a few bucks, whatever.
Yeah.
Then it started coming out exactly how much they had taken, exactly how exact it had been copied. And most importantly, it became very clear that it's not just an issue of some art getting stolen. Marathon by Bungie is based on the aesthetic of this artist.
Yes.
This artist came up with a style, and then Marathon took that style and made it their style. I made this. And then sold it as, look at our awesome, uniquely styled shooter coming out. Like, I don't think we've ever seen something like this before. And it's at this point, it's going to be interesting to see if that project sees the light of day.
Yeah.
How many people do you think at Bungie are to blame for this? Like, is it just?
Now here's where it gets weird.
Here's where it gets weird. Yeah.
Here's what gets weird. Okay. Multiple of the art team were following this guy for years.
Girl,
excuse me. This artist.
Gal.
Years.
Yeah.
It stands to reason that maybe there was some universe where it wasn't seen, but looking at the situation, it would be nearly impossible for someone to not notice that this art was being literally copy pasted in many cases off of Twitter into Marathon. Again, this is not just like one person who came up with the aesthetic, Temp and Andy, and it was like, hey guys, made the aesthetic for you, here you go, and just gave him a whole bunch of stuff, right? All right, have fun. Like, oh, Temp Andy, did you make this with AI? No, that's not how it worked. It was a team. So, and most importantly, this team was taking credit for the aesthetic, which was now clearly becoming someone else's.
Yeah.
So this is not saying, we have no idea what it is. And of course we may never know what it is, to put it bluntly, but this could have been like a coordinated massive thing. Like this could be as nasty as it looks. It might be. But again, there's a chance we may never know. We'll see.
Yeah. Their official response to it, just so that's out there. Quote, we immediately investigated concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie artist included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in game. This issue was unknown by our existing art team, and this is kind of reiterating what Coach just said, and we are still reviewing how this oversight occurred. We take matters like this very seriously. We've reached out to Anti-Real to discuss the issue and are committed to do right by the artist. As a matter of policy, we do not use the work of artists without their permission. To prevent similar issues in the future, we're conducting a thorough review of our in-game assets, specifically those done by former Bungie artists, and implementing stricter checks to document all artist contributions. We value the creativity and dedication of all artists who contribute to our games, and we are committed to do right by them. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
3 things. 1, this was not tweeted from the main Marathon account.
Yes, it is from the Marathon dev team account.
That was done for a reason.
Yeah.
Obviously done very intentionally on a Friday. Second of all, it has come to light from that tweet that the guy that Bungie stole art from last time, I think it was a year ago plus, has still not been contacted or compensated by them.
Oh, I thought he was paid. Is this a different allegation?
The news thing I saw was that guy tweeted out he still had not been compensated, and now I'm going to go find it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm seeing both. He was paid and he wasn't. There might be a third plane. Oh God. I don't know the situation, to be honest. They were never credited. He didn't get paid.
He fired the guy that was going to pay him, says Makashima.
Wouldn't surprise me with Bungie.
Oh God.
That would have been.
Maybe the kicker is like, if the optics seems bad to you about all of this around Bungie, it actually got worse than everything we're saying. Because on Friday, Bungie was scheduled to do a marathon. They were calling it a play in AMA rather, like Ask Me Anything AMA, but a play
MA.
So they started this whole stream. They didn't cancel the stream after all this came out, right? They started the stream, and they had I think it was the game director and the art director. The guy that's, the head of Marathon art director, and I think all of Bungie. And the stream starts, and they're like, hey guys, welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, because of some things that have happened this past week, we're not going to be able to play the game today. We're not going to show you anything new because it contains because we stole the art. That's kind of what they said in short. So it was an hour long, right? They didn't show anything. And they had, right after that, the art director read a statement verbatim that he wrote to the audience. And then he stayed there for the next hour saying very little while they just got absolutely fucking destroyed in the chat by messages like this, where he's just sitting there reading chat and it says plagiarism will make me God, because that was like the whole thing that Marathon had going for it with their marketing team. And he just was like very visibly upset. He was probably up all night too, the night prior, because of all of this, right? Like that's the human response to all of that is, I'm not going to sleep very well. Do I still have a job?
Jesus Christ, man.
There's a big the buck stops here with him.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is with the art of the game. He is the guy in charge of the art of the game. Like the buck kind of stops with him. Like if there's a head to be chopped, it's gonna be his.
Yeah.
So I would not feel super great being on that show either, to be honest.
It's his
justified
job,
or not. Justified or not. It reminded me of the scene in fucking Jurassic Park where it's like, here's a lamb.
Yes.
Here you go.
Yep.
Fucking chat is.
End of the day, all the art goes through him, and it's his job to like do due diligence to double check art going through and making sure that this isn't happening. And I don't know how he didn't do it, or maybe they did know it and hoping no one would find out, or what. It's we don't know. It's rough.
That's the part that sucks to think about.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like is this a oh god there's art, or like an oh god we got caught? You know, like there's lots of different ways this could play out. But yeah, it's
Do you
not.
think he was forced or went voluntarily? Meaning like,
Little bit
no,
of
they were
both.
caught.
do it.
Oh, you mean on the show?
Yeah,
To
do
be
the
on the
stream.
stream after this
Oh, I
happened.
bet he had to. I mean, he had to. If he had not, that would have been even more scandalous. Like if the lead art director had not shown up to read that statement, I feel like that would have been
Mhm.
even. I would have.
No,
almost
I'm just saying have
implicated
the
him,
stream
you know?
at all. It seems
Yeah.
weird that they would have that at all.
Oh,
I would have
yeah.
in hindsight,
Yeah.
I would have canceled the stream. I don't necessarily think having him on there to like eat crow or whatever the phrase is, like
Yeah.
the fact we're talking about how bad it looked, having him just
Yeah.
be there for an hour, I think is evidence enough that they shouldn't have had that stream.
I'm surprised the lawyers let them go. Like after this came out, that their legal is letting them even like publicly talk about anything like this right now.
Yeah.
It's-
Um,
They're looking at
They're-
a possible lawsuit.
They are so lucky. That artist seems super chill with everything. My God, dude.
Mhm.
If they had found some vindictive person or somebody with an anti-Bungie agenda, like they'd be done.
Yeah. Someone in chat says, I felt mean-spirited watching. Yeah, I was watching on stream and like 10 minutes in, I was like, guys, I can't, like he's just sitting there and chat is just being chat. I can't watch this barbecue anymore. Like
Mhm.
he's dead. Like,
Yeah.
He's dead. He's dead.
He probably doesn't stream much, so he doesn't know like what happens if you make a mistake on a puzzle. Like this is chat. Chat does this, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you make an error
Yeah.
of any size, they're gonna do this.
Yeah, so it was rough. And then after all that is said and done, you start seeing, at least I saw a handful of like, quote unquote, leaders in the community, pillars in the community being like, delay the game. Like you can't, there's no way this game ships
Oh,
this year. Like you can't,
dude.
you have to delay the game at this point.
How, like, I just don't understand at this point how they're going to even do that. Like, you literally have a project where your aesthetic was possibly stolen. That will always taint the project, no matter how cool it looks. People will always wonder what's stolen and what isn't. Like I will be very surprised if they pull this out of the fire.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And
I
on
just,
top
I just
of,
don't, I just
like-
don't see it. I know I'm never going to touch it. Like
I
I don't
didn't-
know how I could. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know, man.
It's
Like
it's
I
weird.
didn't play it myself, but it seemed like even before all of this, that the reaction from people that played the game was that it was just okay. Like it wasn't even like the gameplay itself wasn't even like stellar.
Especially after
Like
Arc Raiders.
yeah, Arc Raiders was like phenomenal, and then this one was just kind of was a thud. Like it just didn't quite hit like they were expecting it to.
Yeah. It is a perfect storm
That's
of like fuckery.
as Chad is
Uh,
saying. We preferred Arc Raiders, not Art Raiders.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, dude, is that name stuck. I see
did.
that name called
Everywhere now.
more than Marathon. I see Art Raiders. I mean, I used it as like the meme when we were talking about it on the topic tag. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'd be surprised if that game comes out on time, and two, if that game maybe ships at all.
Oh, and let's just add some fuel to the fire that has nothing to do with the art. It then also came out that the devs, the leads of Marathon, have been being told for years and years and years that the direction isn't right. They should probably do more PvE, folks. Like all this stuff that would have made the game awesome. In fact, we talked about this when we first talked about like how much more interesting the game would be if it was more approachable. And apparently they all just like good old boy ignored all of it. And it's multiple employees being like, we tried to tell them that it was not good.
Jesus.
Just to, make things better for the project. That is now an official story floating around out there.
Jesus. Yeah.
Good times.
You know what I'd do? I'd get the artist. I'd take her and I'd get her in a press conference, give her a big old novelty check with a bunch of money on it and just says, we're sorry. And just like, shake hands. Like,
Yeah.
we cool?
She's the new art director.
I know, right?
She
There you
owns
go, yeah.
Bungie now, guys. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
there you
Like,
go.
It's interesting. We joked about this. Like, what could Bungie do to possibly save from this? And one of the things we brought up, like, is what if they did just like bring her in as the aesthetic advisor? Like, what if they actually integrated her into the project?
just gave her a job,
At
but she
this
didn't have to
point-
work. Yeah.
At this point, with everything that's been done, could that work? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't like
Well,
at this juncture. I'm not sure.
I think while like the hardcore audience, as it were, would know all about this, then you have to explain to the normie audience, like the people that would never hear about any of this, what went on, right? Like, and then it just, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be. They're all having a terrible weekend, and they're all dreading waking up tomorrow and going into the office and like dealing with this, because I don't know what the answer is. And I would expect that a lot of the execs, the CEOs, are just like, fucking fire that guy. Just move on. Like, just put it behind us. And meanwhile, everyone at the studio is like, fuck. Like, we don't want to do this. This guy's been here for a decade, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a nightmare.
The worst
Yeah,
part,
it's
he may
simple
have
three-step
not
process.
known about it.
Yeah.
It may have had nothing
Yeah.
to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, it may have just been him not thoroughly checking the art that was in the game, which is, to be fair, that is a big deal, but doesn't necessarily needs to be fired as long as they, due diligence back to where they should be.
Yeah.
Malicious intent, like
Intent is big.
that's still negligence. That's
Yeah.
a fireable
But, yeah,
offense. Absolutely.
As Kat's saying, we do very much have to keep in mind that man on the screen had followed the artist for years.
Yeah.
And there you go.
So it's really hard at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hard to say you
three-step
didn't
process.
know that art.
There's no way
style.
he didn't know.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's oh man, yeah.
What do you think about that? Simple three-step process. Be transparent about what happened. Punish and or fire the people responsible. Pay the artist. How's that?
Well, the scapegoat that they used,
No good?
they said no longer works there. So,
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they're basically like, oh yeah, so we had this guy that worked here a while back, basically came up with the whole game, and then left.
Yeah.
So he's not here anymore. That sucks.
John Bungie, we fired him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
this will save the game. I'm saying it'll maybe help the situation. The game has to speak for itself no matter what. There's nothing about this that'll save the game.
yeah. No, the game will have a rough go. Is having a rough go, without question.
I'm really worried about the future of Bungie as a company, because they needed a win, because they're not doing great right now.
Yeah.
And the worst part is Destiny 3. Anything they made in Destiny 3 would have been a win. Like, I don't even play Destiny, and I know that. It's just like, I don't. What are you guys thinking? I don't know. Really unfortunate.
Yep. And then you start to think about how Bungie or PlayStation said, like, Bungie came in and talked with Naughty Dog and like said basically that wasn't a good shape for their live service game, and so they canned the Last of Us live service game because of what Bungie said. And now whoever made that decision is just throwing their hands up like, what the fuck, guys? Like,
Yeah, they literally
Yeah.
told us that, then went and made a game nobody wanted.
Yeah.
They literally told us what games to make, and then went and make a game that even their fans were like, this is somewhat mid.
Yeah. Not in a good spot. Not in a good spot whatsoever.